So what the first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and show the menu. So let's show the menu, and let's see how it looks so far. So when I run this now, I've shown the menu, right? Let's say I wanted to generate a computer choice. So I'll say, because the question over here said, once you generate the computer choice, don't display the computer's choice yet. So let's do that. I'm going to go ahead and, after I've shown the menu, I want to go ahead and generate computer choice. Now remember, computer choice needs a random object, and I have defined a random object here. So I'm going to pass in a random object to it so we can use it to generate a random number. So remember, once it's done, it's just going to display this message, so we know that a number has been displayed. The computer has made its choice, right? And also it's going to go ahead and return the computer word choice. So we can go ahead and print out the value from that. Let's go ahead and print out system .out.print, because it's going to, the method is going to return the computer's choice. But if we don't print it out, we won't see it. So we are printing out what is being returned. Print L1. We are printing out what is being returned from the generate computer choice method. So when I compile this and I run it, it's going to show the menu and then show us the computer choice. So over here it says, it showed the menu. It said the computer has made its choice, and it's scissors. Okay, the computer has made its choice and it's scissors. Yeah, the computer has made its choice. I'm just going to make it a colon here just so it's okay. So the computer has made its choice. Now it's rock. Okay, so after we've done that, now let's go ahead and test for, let's get the user choice. Okay, now remember, it's also a method we define here, which is over here, get user choice, this whole method. So get user choice, remember, it's going to need a scanner object here, and I have defined my scanner object right here. So I'm going to go ahead and call get user choice, and get user choice is going to need a scanner object, one that I created over here. So scanner, and it's going to go ahead and do everything that's in the get user choice method. It's going to ask the user and return. Ask the user is going to type in something and return that and to return it. Now once it returns it, I want to go ahead and print it out. Although we will see it, I want to go ahead and return it. Returning out. I want to go ahead and print it out once it's returned. Although when we're typing, we'll see exactly what I'm typing. That's how the method works. It returns the value. So I want to print out what is being returned. So it's going to say, user, please make your choice, and it's going to allow the user to type in something and return it. When it's returned, I'm printing out what is being returned. So when I compile this and I run it, now it says rock, paper, scissors. The computer has made its choice and it's scissors. User, please make your choice. I'm going to type in rock. Now it's going to return the rock that I just typed and display my choice as rock. So the computer chose scissors and I chose rock. All right. Actually, the program doesn't want us to display the computer's one yet. It says don't display the computer's choice yet. So over here I can just remove the one that's displaying the computer's choice, the statements that's displaying the computer's choice, run it, and this is how it's going to look. When we started, it's just going to tell me, user, please make your choice. Let's see. Oh, I can go ahead and just, I have to generate the computer's choice, so I can just say generate. Instead of, let me undo this. Instead of printing it out, I'm just going to generate. I'm undoing it here. I undid it. Okay, so instead of now printing out what is being returned from generate computer choice, now I'm just generating the computer choices. No, I'm not printing it. It will mention here that the computer has made its choice. See, it will mention here that the computer has made its choice, but it won't print it out. At first I was printing it out. Okay, so when I compile this and I run it, now it's say rock, paper, scissors. That's the menu, right? Now it says the computer has made its choice. User, please make your choice. So when I type in rock, it just shows me a rock, but I'm not printing out the computer's choice yet. So this is how it's kind of going to work. But we've tested our methods and we know our methods are working. All right, so now let's see what we've done. The user enters his or her choice of rock, paper, scissors at the keyboard. You can use a menu And we've done the menu too. So we're done with the first two. Now the third option, it says the computer's choice is displayed. So now it says finally we can go ahead and display the computer's choice. Okay, so over here we can say show menu, right? Show menu, and we can say generate the computer choice. In the show menu method, let me just make it look a bit fancier. Let's say options to choose from. I'll say options to choose from. Then I'll probably go to new line, and yeah, that's fine. Put a colon here, and then once I display that, what are we calling again? We're generating the computer choice. We are not displaying it yet. We're just saying the computer has generated a choice. Over here, I'm getting the user's choice. It's going to, once it gets the user choice, I'm going to say when it's printing out what is being returned from the user's choice, I'm going to concatenate it with a string and say you chose, and you meaning the user. I'm going to say you chose, and I'm going to go ahead and concatenate it with space here. Concatenate it with whatever is being returned from get user choice. Okay, so you chose get user choice. If we want, we can actually store the result in a variable. We can, but for now, actually we should just to keep it simple, right? So what I'm going to do is, after displaying the menu, I'm going to say generate a computer choice, and we know the generate computer choice method is going to return the computer's choice. I'm going to store it in its own variable. So over here, I'm going to define a string, and I'll call it computer choice, just to keep it simple. Computer choice. Oops. Computer choice is going to be a string, and I'm going to store what is being returned from generate computer choice in computer choice here. So computer choice now, this string computer choice over here, I typed in 2 O's. This string computer choice is now going to hold generate computer choice. What is being returned from generate computer choice? What is being returned from the generate computer choice method? And over here, I'll do the same thing for this, and I'll create another variable called user choice. And user choice is going to hold what is being returned from the user choice, from the get user choice method. So over here, I'll say, let me cut it, and I'll say user choice is going to be equal to get user choice. So user choice is going to hold what is being returned from the get user choice method, and computer choice is going to hold what is being returned from the generate computer choice method. And then now I can just use the value stored in this, and I can say system.out.println you chose user choice, like this. When I compile this and I run this, let's see how it's going to display so far. It says options to choose from, rock, paper, scissors. I should end it with a new line, so it's looking good, like a real game. Options to choose from, rock, paper, scissors. The computer has made its choice. User, please make your choice. I'm going to type in rock. It says you chose rock, right? But over here, the bullet 3 says the computer's choice is displayed. So we have to also go ahead and display the computer's choice. And over here, I can say, I can concatenate more strings to it and say, you chose rock. I'm going to concatenate it with another string and take it to the next line with a new line character and say, you chose rock. Computer chose. Now, since I have the computer's choice in the variable computer choice, I can go ahead and display it. Computer chose computer choice. I can go ahead and concatenate it to the string and display it in the using the system.out.println function. So when I compile this and I run it now, it's going to look more good, more okay. Option to choose from, computer has made its choice. User, please make your choice. I'm going to type in rock and hit enter. Now it says you chose rock, computer chose rock. So now we know that it's working. Let's run this again. I'm going to type in paper. It says you chose paper, computer chose paper. Wow. Let's just make sure this is working. I'm going to type in scissor, hit enter. Okay, I chose scissor. Computer chose scissors, but it's weird. We are choosing the the same values, right? Okay, so computer chose scissors. The options I gave the computer, I said scissors. Over here it said scissor, right? Let me see. Okay, so it said if the number is 3, then the computer has chosen scissors. Okay, all right. So it's scissors with S. So I'm supposed to type in with S. Okay, so it's correct. Let's run this one more time. Make sure it's working because we are all choosing the right number. I'm going to type in rock, hit enter. Computer chose rock too. Rock again. Okay, now it's different because for the 4th time in a row, I was choosing exactly what the computer was choosing, and that's crazy. Wow. Yeah. All right. So you chose rock. Computer chose scissors. You can see that we're choosing different stuff. I'm going to choose rock again. Computer chose paper. Choose paper. Computer chose rock. So we can see we are all choosing different things. Sometimes we get to choose the same thing. All right. And the 4th thing is a winner is selected according to the following rules. So now we can compare to see our choices. Okay, whether it's paper or and then based on these rules we can display the winner, right? So it says if one player chooses rock and the other player chooses scissors, then the winner then the rock wins. So in that case, whoever chose the rock wins. Well, first of all, we'll display whoever chose a rock. In that case, it says if one player chooses rock and the other player chooses scissors, then rock wins. It wasn't really clear on this, but what I could understand from this question is then whoever chose the rock wins, right? So we display whoever won plus this message: the rock smashes the scissors. If one player chooses scissors and the other player chooses paper, then scissors win. So whoever chose scissors from this combination wins, and we display this message: scissors cats paper. Okay, so we can do that. We can do that. We can create a whole method for that. Method for that instead of just writing the whole code in main. See, right now we've kept our code simple by just using methods, and it makes sense too. We are showing the menu. We're generating the computer's choice and storing it here. We are getting the user's choice and storing it here. We are displaying the user's choice, displaying the computer's choice. You can see that all the work has been done up here with the code. All the work has been done up here with the methods. All we are doing is just calling the methods, and it makes sense even when you read it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and create a method that's going to basically choose a winner. It's going to basically I'm going to call this method choose winner. This method is going to take in 2 arguments. It's going to take in the user's choice, and it's going to take in the computer's choice. So I'm going to go ahead and create another public static method, and then I'll call it, well, first of all I need to define the return type. Now this method, I want it to return a string saying the winner is this, and we'll display the message that comes with it. Either rock smashes scissors, scissors cats paper. So I want it to return a string. Okay, so this I'm going to say choose winner. I'll give it the two values, the user's choice and the computer's choice, and it's going to display the winner to us. So I'm going to call it, well, first of all, it's going to return a string. So public static string, and then I'll call it choose winner. That's what this method is going to do. When I call it and I give it the 2 scores, the 2 choices, it should just display the winner for us. So this method is going to take in 2 arguments. So I'm going to define 2 parameters. So public static string choose winner is going to take in a first string, which is going to be the user's, I'll say the computer's choice. It's going to be a string because computer's choice is a string, either rock, paper, or scissors. So I'm going to give it the first string, which is going to be the computer choice, and then the second string, which is going to be user choice. Right now, I will, if someone uses this method and passes in these 2 arguments, I will have them, so I can go ahead and compare them based on the rules that. So let me go ahead and create my if structure here. Based on the rules we're given here, I can go ahead and check and compare. So if one player, so it says if one player chooses rock and the other player chooses scissors, then rock wins. So first of all, let me just run this program, and Oops. Okay, so this is not done. Let me just delete it. That's why it's complaining. Okay, it needs stuff in there, I guess. All right, let's see. Oh, it's missing a return statement because I said string here. Okay, it's fine. Let me go ahead and cut all of this. Before I just want to explain something here. So let me run this. Type in rock, and over here, so rock and paper. Okay, so let's see. We have rock and paper here, paper and rock. Okay, so the third one says if the player chooses, if one player, it didn't say which one or who. It didn't say who. It says if one player chooses paper, and the other player chooses rock. So in this case, the computer chose paper, and I chose rock. So it says if one player chooses paper and the other player chooses rock, then paper wins, meaning the person who chose paper wins. So in this case, I'm going to say computer won, and then I'm going to display this message: paper wraps rock. So you see how it's going to work. It didn't necessarily say. Then it says if one player chooses. So the user can choose rock, the user can choose paper, and the computer can choose rock. But in this case, the computer chose paper. So and it says based on these rules, it said if one player chooses paper, and the other player chooses rock, then paper wins. Whoever chose paper wins. So in this case, computer wins. So I'll undo this and I'll bring my code back with the if structure. So now I'll have these two arguments. I'm going to say if. Let's start with the very first one. Take this down. Start with the very first one. It says if one player chooses rock and the other player chooses scissors. So we're dealing with rock and scissors. Then rock wins. Okay. Well, first of all, let's create a condition. If one player. So let's start with if the computer chooses rock and the other player chooses scissors. So I'm going to say this: if computer choice. Well, first of all, the computer's choice. Okay, the computer choice is always going to be either rock, paper, or scissors, exactly as I've typed them. Small letters. It was not going to be a capital letter. It's going to be small letters. So I don't have to worry about it being a capital letter. So because I'm going to compare. Well, the computer choice I don't have to compare, but the user's choice, the user can type in a capital letter, but I'll deal with that later. So I'm going to say over here, I'm going to say if computer choice. I'm going to say if computer choice dot equals. There's a method, it's a way to compare strings. If computer choice dot equal, meaning if it's exactly equal to the string rock, exactly in small caps like this, rock. Now computer choice is either going to be rock, paper, or scissors here. So if one player chooses rock and the other player chooses scissors. Okay, so the computer choice is dot equals rock, right? And I'm going to use the 2 ampersands to represent and or is it and the user choice, but the user choice I'm going to say dot equals ignore case is equal to scissors. The reason why I'm doing dot equals ignore case is because sometimes the user, I can type in capital letter. I can type in a capital letter, all scissors. I can go ahead and type in, say, scissors. Right? If I just do equals, scissors is not going to be equal to scissors like this because they're going to have different values. Each character has a value. So when when all the values are added up, it wouldn't be equal to a small letter S has a different value than a big letter S. So when it's comparing, they won't be the same. Even when you are looking at it, although they are the same letters, it's not really the same uppercase or small lowercase. So they are not really equal. But it's actually comparing using the character or the number of each character and adding them up and seeing if they both equal the same, like both of them are equal. So I have to say the equal, ignore the case and just compare. Ignore the case and compare just the letters. So I'm saying if the user's choice dot equal. So imagine I typed in capital letters like this. If the user's choice, if my choice dot equals ignore case. I'm saying if my choice is equal to this, just ignore the case. Ignore the case whether it's a capital letter or a small letter. if the letters in there are exactly the same as this. That's what this means. If the user choice that equals ignore case is this, ignore the case whether it's a capital or small, are the letters the same as this? That's what I'm saying. Because as a user, I can type in capital letters, I can type in small, and capital letters. But the computer choice, I just use equals because it's going to be exactly equal to rock, paper, scissors. It's being automatically generated. I'm not the one typing it. The computer is using these exact words to compare to see if they're the same. And they will be the same because I type them as all small letters. If rock is chosen, rock will be the same as this rock because they're the same. But the user, I'm just using the equals ignore case. So I'm saying over here that if the computer choice is equal to rock and the user choice is ignore the case is equal to scissors, and that's what the first one said. If one player chooses rock and the other player chooses scissors, then rock wins. Okay, so then rock wins. So I'm going to go ahead and create a variable here. It's going to be a string, right? I'll call it winner. I'll say winner. Initially, I'll define it to be nothing, right? Initially, it will be nothing. I'll just say no winner. Oh, I just define it to be nothing initially, right? And then over here I'll say this. Let's see. Yeah, over here I'll say, well, I'll define it to be nothing, right? And over here I'll say if let's see. Okay, so it's fine. I'll define it to I'll set it to no winner. I'll set it to no winner. I'll do it this way. I'll set it to no winner. Initially I'll set it to the value no winner, exactly like this, no winner. If the computer choice that if the computer choice is rock basically and the user's choice is scissors, I want to set the winner to the variable, to the string computer, I think like this. I want to change the value or set the winner to computer, right? I also want to do a couple of things. So if the computer's choice, because it said that, well, did I do it right? It said if one player chooses rock and the other player chooses scissors, then the rock wins. Whoever chose a rock wins. So if the computer chose rock and the user chose scissors, then the winner is the computer, right? But also over here, it's because it said if one player chooses rock and the other player chooses scissors. Also, the computer can choose scissors and the user can choose rock. Okay, so I'm also going to create an else if block. Okay, so because the computer can choose, first of all, the computer can choose rock and the user can choose scissors. But at the same time, the user can choose scissors and the computer can choose rock. So if the same, I'm going to go ahead and basically write the same thing. If the computer, I'll change it. I'll change this time around and say, if the user, I'll just copy this and I'll change the values. Same thing, but it's flipped around. But instead of computer choosing rock, over here I'm going to say if the user choice dot equals, remember ignore case, because the user can type in something else. If the user choice dot equals ignore case, if the user choice that equals ignore case is rock, and the computer choice dot equals, I don't really need ignore case, although it wouldn't affect it, it's scissors. Okay, so over here it said if one player chooses rock and the other player chooses scissors, the computer can choose rock and the user can choose scissors. The user can choose rock and the computer can choose scissors, and that's why I'm doing this. We just want to know well, first of all, whoever chose a rock wins in that case. So if the computer chooses rock, then the computer wins. But if the user chooses rock and the computer chooses scissors, then the winner is not going to be computer anymore. It's going to be the user, like this. Well, I'm going to say you. Winner is you. Whoever is playing the game, you. That's in the user. You. right? Also, I want to create a couple of variables. I want to store these messages in their own variables. The rock smashes scissors. So I'm going to copy it. The rock smashes scissors. I'm going to create a variable all in the choose winner method. I'll say string, and I'll call it what was the first one? The first one was rock smashes scissors, right? So I'll say rock custom message. Rock custom message is going to be equal to, oops, double quotations. It's going to be equal to the rock smashes scissors. I'll do the same thing for the other ones, and I'll say string. Next one is what? Scissors. So that's when someone chooses scissors. Basically, scissors wins. So I'll say scissors custom message. So I'll say scissors custom message. Let's see. Okay, so I'll say scissors custom message is going to be equal to. Let me just copy it. I was thinking about something, but we'll see what happens once we get there. All right, so the scissors custom message now is going to be, oops, wrong place. It's going to be the scissors cuts paper, and then over here I'm going to create another one. Let's say the last one, which is when the paper wins, paper wraps rock, right? I can type this, but let me just copy it. Okay, so paper custom message, it's going to be equal to paper wraps rock, like this. So over here, whoever won, in this case, whoever won, I'm also going to create another variable, and I'm going to call it, so it's going to be a string also. I'm going to call it custom message. This is just going to be custom message. And over here, whoever won is going to have the custom message, because over here, this is when rock, whoever chose rock wins. So whoever won is going to have the custom message of rock smashes the scissors. Okay, so I'm going to say in any of these cases, the custom message is going to be equal to the rock custom message. Okay, the same thing for whoever wins, it's going to have both. It's going to have that message, rock custom message. So this whole block is when any of them, either the user or the computer chooses rock, and the other chooses scissors. Now I'm going to copy this same block for when one player chooses scissors and the other player chooses paper, right? When one player chooses scissors and the other player chooses paper. So scissors and paper. Okay, so I'm going to just paste it and I'll change it. So if the computer choice is equal to, it's scissors and paper, right? Scissors and paper, yeah. Yep. So if one player chooses paper, so if the computer chooses paper and the user chooses scissors and paper. So first let's start with scissors. If the computer chooses scissors and the other player chooses paper, then in that case, then the computer wins, because whoever chose scissors wins. So in that case, the computer wins, and the custom message is going to be scissors custom message, meaning scissors cuts paper. Whoever wins in this case. Okay, whoever chooses scissors. In this case, if the computer chooses scissors and the user chooses paper, then that's what's going to happen. But if the user chooses scissors and the computer chooses paper, then the winner is you, and then the message, the custom message now is going to also scissors custom message. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do the last one. If one player chooses paper and the other player chooses rock, then paper wins. Okay, if one player chooses paper and the other player chooses rock, then paper wins. So we're dealing with paper and rock, and in that case, whoever chose paper won. So paper and rock. Okay, so let's go ahead and paste it and work on that. If someone chooses paper, if the computer chooses paper and the other player chooses rock, then the computer wins because the computer chose paper. And then the message down is going to be paper custom message, paper wraps rock. If the user chooses paper and the computer chooses rock now, then the user, you won. The custom message is going to be equal to paper custom message. Okay, so now we're done with the three cases. Now it says, the last one says, if both players make the same choice, the game must be played again to determine the winner, right? If both players make the same choice, the game must be played again to determine the winner. We can create another if block and say this. We can say, well, first of all, if both players choose the same choice, it wouldn't be any of these. So in this case, winner will stay no winner, right? But what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to change this back to nothing. Initially, the winner is going to be a string of nothing, and then whoever wins is going to be, the value of winner is going to be changed to either computer or you based on these conditions. But initially, it's equal to nothing. But I'm going to create another condition and say, because if you think about it, right, apart from all the combinations, okay, if none of these combinations are true, then it's very possible that they chose the same thing, because you can compare them. Okay, we have rock, papers, and scissors, right? We have rock, papers, and scissors. So we have rock and paper, and then rock and scissors. Let's see if that's matched. Rock and scissors, and then rock and paper, right? And then we have paper and scissors. Paper and scissors over here. So we have that. Then yeah, so that means all are matched. If none of these conditions are true, okay, if none of this is true, then that means they match. If none of this is true, then that means they match. So I'm going to set this to no winner. Initially it's no winner, but if any of these conditions are true, the value of winner is going to be changed to either computer or you. Either computer or you. Same thing. Either computer or you. If none of these conditions are true, then that means that it's very hard. That means that they actually typed in the same exact thing, or they typed in something completely different. Okay, that means they type in the same exact thing. Yes, that means they type in the same exact thing over here. So what I'm going to do is, so if none of these work, then that means winner is going to stay at no winner. So that's good. Okay, so that's what I wanted.